What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean P. the Bluff God. Hey! And we are back with another Berserk read through. Today we will be reading chapter 18 through the app. And the title of this chapter is Nosferatu Zod, chapter 1. Okay, so I don't know if this is an arc or what. Again, these Berserk chapters are confusing, especially reading it through the app. Maybe it's a little easier reading through the novel, but reading through the app, it's a little confusing. It's a little confusing. But before we get into that, make sure you guys hit that like button, also subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications. Also comment, let me know what you think of the read through. What do you think of the chapter? What do you think of Berserk in general? Let me know down in the comments. Also, follow me on Twitch so you can catch these live streams live and you can interact with me live and in real time. Also, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. All of the links will be linked below, as well as the Discord, so make sure you join the community. Let me stop. But let's get going to this chapter. We are doing chapter 18, and the name of this chapter is Nosferatu Zod, chapter 1. So I don't even know if we're still in the Golden Age arc anymore. Like, I'm lost. I'm not even gonna lie. If you're a Berserk fan, or if you know more about Berserk than I do, let me know, because I'm a little confused. Let's get to it. All right, so we see the Bahilit on the chain, and it says, "It was crimson like a drop of blood." Yo, that look like a fire ass album cover right here. It looked like a fire ass album cover. For real, for real. I might have to hold on to this. That look like a fire ass album cover. It also says Nosferatu Zod chapter 1. So that's where I'm assuming, for all you novel people, if you know what that is, then bam, that's where we're at. We kind of look at like a flashback of when Griffith was talking to Guts, and he says, "I bought this from an old gypsy fortune teller ages ago. The Bahilit, also called the Egg of the King. You see, it said that whoever possesses this is destined to obtain the world in exchange for his own flesh and blood." And Guts says, "The world. The world, though." All Guts need is a stand. Him and Griffith, give him stands. Give Griffith Dio's stand, and give Guts Joe Toro's stand, and we in business. So we get like a cover page, says something in Japanese, I can't tell. I'm assuming it says Berserk, but I don't know. And Griffith says, "I will get my own kingdom." And then it's like a text says, "That's what he said 3 years ago." So I want to say we're in modern times. We're in the time skip right now. Now we see Griffith in his armor, holding his Bahilit, and he's on horseback with his soldiers behind him. So they're on top of a hill looking out at what looks to be a walled city. We see guys on horseback down there. We see like catapults. We see like them defense spikes. I guess they're outside of the walled city. And then we get a guy coming to Griffith, and he says, "Reporting. We seem to have just about finished taking the enemy's fortress." And Griffith says, "The enemy? Or the enemy leader?" The guy says, "No, not yet. Presently, Captain Guts' raiders are laying siege to the inner citadel, but," and he continues, "the enemy has a remarkable soldier. He's holding back the breach." And then Casca's thinking, One man. And then Corcus says, just one? Phew, that's just pathetic. And then, what is his name? I forgot his name. He says, or it's Judo. Judo says, Zod. Casca says, what? And Griffith looks back and like he might have been familiar with that name. And then we got the one kid. I can't remember his name. Now I'm forgetting her name again. He was the one. He's kind of like might be like the weakling of the group. He says, Zod, Judo, you don't mean. And then Judo says, I caught wind of a strange rumor before this battle that Nosferatu Zod had been added to the enemy's forces. They said Nosferatu Zod, and the kid says the young guy says, or no, Pippin says, who's that? And then the kid says, you don't know Pippin? Among mercenaries, Nosferatu Zod is a legendary swordsman. They say he's killed hundreds, even thousands on the battlefield. But that's not the only reason why Zod is feared. Every time a rumor goes around that he's dead, he always shows up again in some other battle. And the unbelievable thing is, people have been telling war stories about him for close to 100 years. He's immortal. That's why Zod's called Nosferatu. So this is that one guy who was on that cover page. Oh, this guy kind of remind me of like Yajiro or something from Baki. So Griffith is looking, he doesn't say nothing. And Corcus says, hey, don't tell me you actually believe that fairy tale. Come on, little Rickard. That's his name, Rickard. That's the kid's name, Rickard. And he says, but there are some mercenaries who revere Zod as a battlefield god. Zod, the battlefield god. Bars. And then Judo says, something tells me if Guts ran into him, he'd go charging headlong like a madman. And then Griffith looks a little concerned, and he looks at Casca, Corcus, and Rickard. And one of them says, this can't turn out good. And we see all their silhouettes with the enemy city in the background. So we see like some soldiers holding Guts. And he says, stupid bastards, let me go, Gaston. And they say, no way, Captain. You guys help me stop him. And they're holding Guts back, and he says, I can't let you do it. No way. Can I let you go in alone? A little longer. Let's just wait a little longer. And Guts is like, it's already been a whole hour, you ass. We sent almost 50 men in there, and no one's come out. Now let go of me. And Guts grabs him by like the face. And the guy says, then we should ask Boss Griffiths for reinforcements. Or before he could even get reinforcements fully out, Gus says, you try it and I'll kill you. And Gus says, it's one man. A single enemy's got all 500 of the band of the Hawk Raiders stuck like nails in a wall. Bruh, this dude, this dude must be a freaking monster. Just the legend of this man. God dang. He must be he has to be like what do you call him? Like one of, they're under God's hand. I forget what you call him. A disciple or whatever. I think that's apostle. He must be an apostle. He has to be an apostle. Gus says, you ever heard of anything so humiliating? And then we see a guy come out with like part of his body ripped off. Like we could see his ribs. He's missing his right arm. Like it's like his whole right side is just ripped off. And his guts are showing and stuff. And he says, Captain, I don't know how this guy's still alive. Gus says, Delos. And Delos falls to the ground in Guts's like arms. And he says, Zod, Nosferatu Zod. And then the other members of the band, they say, that's rumor really was true? Hey, this is big trouble. And then Delos dies. So Guts stands and with this serious face. And one of his guys says, hold on, Captain. And Gus says, keep back. Nobody come with me. I'm killing him alone. Ooh. This is some trouble. Oh, Guts ain't come to play. So Guts is walking down like this corridor. And it's just a bunch of dead bodies. Just dismembered bodies all on the ground. And the one guy says, Captain. And we just see all these dead bodies. Oh my goodness. This guy seems like a problem. Gus says, what's with these corpses? Men in full armor torn apart like rag dolls. It feels like something incredibly strong blew right through them. And then Guts looks down the hall. He said, huh. And then we just see like this man's feet hanging, dangling. And Guts looks in shock. So we get like a full page of nothing but just like dead bodies. Like just the heads of them. It's not even the bodies. It's just like heads. Well, some of them are still connected to the bodies, but you just see their heads though. And they're all like, some of them, their faces are messed up or they're just dead. So we see this big, bulky, naked dude with like one of the head, like faces in his palm. And it's like a double page spread, and he has two bodies on his sword. Like he's carrying his sword with one hand. And he has two bodies. He's impaling like two bodies with his sword and just carrying them like nothing. Man, this dude's a beast. Yeah, this dude gotta be an apostle. He gotta be an apostle. Guts charges straight at Zod. And then we see Zod swing his sword with the two bodies still on it. And Guts looks in shock. He blocks, but he gets sent back into a pillar. And the bodies also get sent with him. Bruh. You know who Zod looked like? He kind of looked like, I want to say, it's like, I think his name is Kuma. He's like on a fighting game. I think like Capcom or something, right? But he kind of looked like that guy. I never really played that game, but I'm familiar with the character. I want to say his name is Kuma from Street Fighter, I think. Is it Street Fighter? Might be Street. I think it might be Street Fighter. I'm not too sure, but it's one of those fighting games. And there's like a character named Kuma, and he has like these big beads on his neck, and I think he's super strong. I'm not sure. I never played the game, but familiar with the character. But that's who he reminds me of. Because we get a full page spread of Zod. Or it's not a full page spread, never mind. But we get Zod, and he's like breathing out smoke. And he just look like a demon. He look like a troll, matter of fact. Yeah, this guy's no human. This guy is not an ordinary human. This guy is a monster. And Gus says, what? What the hell is this? And then we get Nosferatu Zod, Chapter 1, End. Okay, so I mean, good chapter. Good chapter right there. It's a quick chapter. Man, Guts has met his match. Now, I mean, okay, we've seen Guts fight apostles, but this is him at a much older age, who probably had more experience fighting apostles and demonic beings, right? So, but this right here is Guts' first true challenge against one, what seems to be an apostle. I'm assuming Zod is an apostle, you know. But we start off this chapter with a flashback of when Guts was asking about the Bahilit on Griffith's neck, and Griffith told him, and he told him that it was going to make him a king, because Griffith's plan is to be a king, and Guts was thinking about that. But then we also fast forward 3 years later to Griffith in the Band of Hawk pretty much sieging an enemy fortress. And while they were, while Griffith was, observing this battle, one of his men come and like, hey, there is one guy holding back all our men. And they're like, hey, how is that possible? Just one guy? What? Can't be possible. We're the Band of the Hawk. What? Come on. And then he says, it's Nosferatu Zod. And everybody's like, Zod, who's that? Now, Judo knew, he heard legends about this guy. He talks about how this guy has been a nightmare on the battlefield. And every time he's died, he shows up in another battle sometime later, right? And some of the band are like, hey, man, it's just a legend. Come on, like, y'all, you really believe that? And he was like, hey, this has been going on for over 100 years. 100 years this legend has been going on. So we fast forward to Guts and his men, and his men are holding him back like, hey, you can't go, because it's this guy named Zod in there. He's dangerous. We need to help. We need to wait for reinforcements. But Guts is like, nah, man, guys is dying. This one guy, Dylan, comes out of the fortress or whatever, that comes out of the building he was in. Like, his whole right side was going, and Guts is like, nah, I can't have this. I can't have my men keep dying. We already lost 50 guys. Like, no, I'm going in. Y'all stay out here. I'm going in by myself. And so we just see dead bodies everywhere in this hallway, just everywhere. And Guts is like, what? And then he looks down the hall. I guess he hears something, and we see like some feet hanging. And he looks shocked, like, what? We see this big naked ogre looking guy who's holding a sword with two guys on his sword. You gotta understand, how strong this guy must be to hold a sword with two guys, like, in the sword impaled two guys holding him up with one hand. And then Guts goes in for the attack. And then Zod swings at Guts. Guts blocks and gets sent into a pillar, as well as those two bodies also get sent as well. And that pretty much is the chapter. Bro, oh man, Guts is about to be in for a fight. And I think this is going to be, other than Griffith, right? This is going to be Gus's real, probably biggest task up to this point. And this, assuming Zod is an apostle, this has to be Guts's first encounter with an apostle. Like we seen earlier in the series, Guts fought a few apostles. He fought the snakehead guy. He fought the Count. Those are the only ones I think he's fought up to that point that we've seen. And he's beaten them. He had trouble with them. Yeah, he's had. Oh, he also fought that one guy who was turned into an apostle by the Count, or he was turned to like some demon or something. And that guy was pretty tough as well. But I think that might have been like an extension of the Count, right? And he's won those fights. But that probably came with experience of fighting apostles. This right here, though, is going to be Guts' first encounter with an apostle. You know, assuming that Zod is an apostle. I assume he is. I mean, especially if he's died times and came back to life and he's been around for 100 years. Just saying, right? Just saying. So, I'm psyched for the next chapter. So yeah, y'all definitely gotta be there. Y'all definitely gotta be there for this next chapter. Anyway. But yeah, that is the chapter, y'all. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this chapter. Let me know what you thought about the read through. Let me know what you think of Berserk, right? Just keep spoilers out of the comment section, please. I would appreciate that. Also, follow me on Twitch. Catch me read these chapters live and engage with me in real time. Interact with me in real time. Also, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And join the community, the Discord. All of these will be in the description box down below. But anyway, y'all, it's your boy Sean P, the Bluff Guy, and I'm out of here. Peace.